You got to get really good at writing prompts and being specific. And anyone who's had an assistant or had an employee under them will know how this works. The more specific you can be with people, the more you can get done efficiently. Like if you want to get someone to buy a pen, don't go, hey, go buy me a pen. Go, hey, here's the budget, here's the color, here's my preferred brands or types.
Otherwise, you're going to get like a Mickey Mouse biro or something. Like.
Yeah. Or maybe you need a good pen to sign for contracts and they go and give you those big ballpoints. And next thing you know, the documents don't hold up in court because they faded. So when you're creating these prompts, you don't, and this is where everyone starts. They throw in a really simple prompt. They go, oh, that's kind of cool, but I don't see how that's going to work. And then they go away. Going back to that example I had where an expert wrote a prompt where it set the frame up for how an AI was to think, followed by the questions, followed by the way it processed that information, it was able to get really close to how this expert actually thought and processed and did his job. Mm. That's kind of where it goes where you need to go with AI. And there are a lot of things you can do. One of the first things I always recommend is people learn about expert personas and follow-up prompts. I don't know if you've heard about them.
No. Could you elaborate?
Sure thing. So there's multiple ways you can do it, but you can quite quickly get AI to be a lot better by giving it an expert persona. So an expert persona could be anything from, hey, I want you to become an expert copywriter for a website and help me do this. It immediately will start changing the way. It'll always start with, all right, I'm now an expert copywriter, but it immediately gets into the groove really quickly. An interesting one I did recently was I got it to pretend to be a customer. Hey, I want you to be a potential customer for MediaBall. And I actually went and role-played sales calls with it because I don't get to do sales calls often. I'm a high-ticket seller. So I was able to set the contacts like, here's how I sell. Here's the problems I solve. I want you to be a customer looking for this. I want you to be the customer. And once you finish talking like the customer, I will respond as the seller. And then bump, bump, bump. And it was great. It got me to really kind of just play with different situations. It's only 10-20% of actually talking to a customer, but it was a great start to have.
It was a good starting point, yeah.
Yeah, and another one I had, and this is something I'm going to be very careful about saying this, so just full disclaimer at the beginning, don't use AI as legal advice. But, if you've got a no worries contract, so I mean, like if you do not care if everything falls through, you get sued, it can be used quite well. One of the things I did when I was creating this course on how to use AI with this AI expert, we got AI to act as a legal consultant and we got it to help suggest anything we're missing. And it was great. Right. It went, we never thought about time frames. So, what happens if someone doesn't deliver on time? What are the repercussions? Can someone back out? What's happening here? And again, we trusted each other enough to know that we weren't going to screw each other over, but we wanted to go that extra mile to help each other out. And we were able to use AI as this expert consultant. And instead of paying $500 for a lawyer to talk with us for a couple of hours, got it for free instantly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's expert personas. Then there's also follow-up prompts. So a lot of people, they'll write a prompt and then that's it. Follow-up prompts are just ways of being able to translate information. So ChatGPT was the first one to do this, but where you could talk to it, it would talk back. And then when you gave it a response, it would actually refer back to everything that was said above. And that's a big game changer because everything I've talked about before, I've always talked about how the case study expert, how he used the follow-up prompts to go from information to story to visual recommendations. It was those follow-up prompts were key to giving a full service. So if you're going to get into AI, these are the first two places I would look at playing with.